What a scoundrel. Let's talk about the abyss. What does it contain? The abyss is the unfathomable zone. The ocean can be called an abyss for the unfathomable part of the ocean. The unfathomable part is the part that we do not know. It is therefore difficult to talk about what we do not know. It is like talking about death, or the unfathomable part of death. Where do people who die go? Their carcasses remain on earth and become dust again, going through phases of metamorphosis such as becoming ticks and worms. But as for the mind, we do not know where it ends. The mind is a traveler because the mind, like thought, is free to imagine, free to convey, and free to go where it wants. The mind is therefore directed by the will. The will is what pushes us to move forward. The will is a force similar to desire. So the spirit that desires to go to heaven will go to heaven. Likewise, the spirit that desires to go to hell will go to hell. The spirit leaves the body when we dream, and the spirit returns to the body when we wake up. So it is right to say that sleep is like death, and silence is like the sound of the abyss. The body is like an envelope, a dwelling for the spirit. That is why as long as I have a body, I will have a place to return to. And as long as my soul is in my body, I will have a breath of life. And if I no longer have a body, the spirit can always find a new envelope, a new body, through the possession of a wandering soul or the reincarnation of the flesh, unless the spirit sinks into the abyss and therefore sinks into silence, towards the unknown and the unrecognized. The abysses are hell for me, the outside of the galaxy and the outside of the universe. Why is that? For we fear what we do not know, and we love what we know. For me, the abyss, which is like the depths of an oil well, is unfathomable and unlimited in its depth. To speak of the abyss is to speak of the unrecognizable. Just like the blackness of the original chaos, the abyss is the finality of those who perish and do not ascend to heaven, of those who know no return, except an unpleasant end in disarray, an inconvenience for an unfinished life, a life of failure, an unfulfilled journey, for those who have no return. To go into the abyss for them is to go into a hell of regrets, forgotten and living dead. It is said that the devil will be cast into the abyss, and that he will know no return, and that he will be left to languish for eternity. Let me tell you that where the letter D goes, we also go. Where they came out, you came out too. Devil and God constitute the letter D, divinity. It is therefore wrong to wish harm to one's neighbor, as it is wrong to harm oneself. This is the same for devil and God in particular, but also for the entire universe naturally. The abyss is like a black hole. We know what goes in, but not what happens inside. In a flat earth, the abyss is Sheol, the world of the dead. And in a galaxy, the abyss is the black hole and its ignorance. In a globe, the center of the earth contains a magma in the shape of a ball of sun, hot as embers, and at the origin of gravity. It is the hell of flames. But the real hell is to be forgotten, therefore a black hole whose memory is empty, in a black hole of the abyss that knows no end. Silence is forgetfulness, and silence watches over life. Silence is the ambush of death. That is why we say, silence I sleep, silence I am dead, silence I speak. Silence is kept for respect and fear. Silence is kept for what we do not know. The identity of the unknown is silent. Let the one we have not known keep his silence. And the things of which we are not aware remain silent forever, and what we have forgotten is often for the good of memory. We forget evil so as not to remember it anymore, and therefore not to reproduce it anymore. Some say that we must not forget in order not to repeat the forgetting. These are two different ways of thinking, two philosophies of the same school. But we only attract what we think about. A positive person only thinks about positivism, and therefore he only attracts positive people to himself. I said that darkness makes us forget, but it is more accurate to say that darkness chases away and therefore hides forgetfulness, unlike white, which erases. When we have a memory lapse, we also say, I have a blank, I don't remember anymore. White is therefore the eraser, and the happy medium between this blank and the burial is grayness. The meeting of white and black forms the visible universe. Grayness is therefore called gray matter. Intelligence is found in gray. Gray is what is written. Black on white or white on black. To be aware is to know, and to know is to understand. I would end by saying that I am Brahman, therefore the man, and that Allah is the Maya, therefore the Om.